Tabatas yesterday. You remember Tabatas, right?
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's great, man. Johnny Tabata. He's
Johnny T.
No, I did Tabatas yesterday. This is the stuff Hackelman told me to do 12 years ago, and I haven't done them in a while. And I was in the gym, and I wanted to do it with legs, though. Tabatas with legs. 20 seconds on, 10 off, 20 on, 10 off, 20 on. Do 2 sets. So my back, got tight, I'm so sore. But then grappling this morning and rolling this morning, such a great training, but I'm just tired. I literally said today, how much longer can I keep doing this? Not getting any younger, buddy.
Oh, man.
I love it so much, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't in pain 24/7.
Yep. Well, Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, they're not really user-friendly arts,
I'll be honest. Yeah, the Taekwondo training beats my body up more for the most part than the Jiu-Jitsu training.
Yeah.
Like Laborio calls Jiu-Jitsu like old man's yoga,
Oh, that's funny.
Old man's yoga, young man's yoga. I don't know. Shelby.
I've been doing a lot more hand stuff and stick and knife stuff. It's way more user-friendly.
Right, and practical.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Especially living where you live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can know how to butter my toast.
Yeah, well, the gun and knife defense. What people can't see is behind those blinds. You still have the bars on the windows?
Well, yeah, but they're like pulled apart a little bit because someone was trying to break in. So
really,
we got to get some reinforcement. Yeah.
Wow.
COVID's been tough, man.
Yeah.
So I've got ammo and Bitcoin, so I'm all set. I'm good to go.
Bitcoin jumped back up to what, 40 grand from 34.
Well, it's back down to 39 now. They're saying one more correction. They're saying.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Munding, Mr. McClung, Mr. Weaver, Mr. Manili.
All right.
Hello. So, you all right, Tass? You okay?
Yeah, man. My eyes, something in my eye.
Just wake up?
Yeah, just thought I'd get up for the show, then I'm going to go back to bed.
All right. Let's start. So, Tass.
Yo.
We're going into June. So what is the most important thing if a school owner was to call you today? And by the way, everybody, we're going to announce our winner from the pages of names that we got to get their airfare paid, hotel paid, to come to our next level summit.
Seminar paid.
Here in August, and the seminar paid here in August, for a 2-day event, August 5th and 6th, or 6th and 7th, 5th and 6th, whatever that Saturday is. So seminar, airfare, hotel. We'll announce that winner in a minute, but let's just talk about it was one piece of advice you could give a school owner. If they called you and said, hey, summer always is tough for me. What's one thing you can give me that will help me have a better summer? What's the one thing you would tell them?
Well,
join Elite.
What I would ask is summer is always tough. What do you mean? It's tough on revenue. It's tough on enrollments. What is that you're struggling, right? So this is one of those things that's, you ask questions to find out more, because summer is always tough. Well, I don't know what that means. Maybe summer is tough and you got 500 students and you're telling me summer's tough because you lose 100 students and retention's an issue. Maybe you're telling me summer's tough because you don't make revenue or you don't get enrollments. So I'm playing devil's advocate here, but that's the question that I would want to know, as opposed to just spewing out my rhetoric and thinking that, well, when they say it's tough, they must mean it's tough on revenue, and it's not really necessarily tough on revenue, but it's tough on getting new enrollments. So If you want me to give you an enrollment strategy, I can do that. If you want me to give you a retention strategy, I can do that, or a recruitment strategy. What would you, or one of the 3 R's, whatever you want me to do. But I'm going to assume most people are in the same boat. It's probably a combination of recruitment and revenue, right? So I wasn't trying to sidestep the question, but I just want to put that out there. Like, when you guys ask questions or when people need things, we always got to find out the why and ask more questions to find out where are we struggling. And for me, you know, I'm big on numbers, but that's also going back to my numbers and looking at, did we hit our numbers for January, February, March, that first quarter? If not, have we made up for it? Because June will be the end of the second quarter. And, you know, maybe we need to hit a revenue goal. Maybe our enrollment goal is on track. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. But long story short is this. I would tell you, you need to have an aggressive offer to get people into your school, to get bodies on your floor. And part of that can be done through, obviously, you know, Facebook ads. It can be done through email. It can be done through making phone calls, calling all your past leads, those types of things. But have an aggressive offer and don't worry about the financial side of what you're doing. So if you're doing whatever, 4 weeks for $49 or 8 weeks for $49 or whatever it is that you decide, some people get caught up on the, well, train all summer as an example, I'm going to charge $299. Well, I don't think that's a great play. It could be a great play if you're a school who is full and busting to the seams and you're just trying to get, you know, a few extra bodies on the floor. But if your goal is to explode, have a very low barrier offer to get in so that we've got bodies on the floor so that we can convert those people, number one. That's the biggest thing. And then anything and everything that you can do, I would tell you the question that you asked me if you were a client, I would say, well, why do you say summer is bad? Because I can tell you another client who says summer is unbelievable. And so sometimes it's a mindset shift as to how we're actually thinking about what summer is. The more that we condition ourselves to say summer's bad, summer's bad, summer's bad, we start to believe ourselves. And then we don't say, well, what can I do to make this an unbelievable summer as far as enrollments, revenue, whatever? And when you start asking yourself a different question, you're going to get a different answer. And then you go apply those things. So whether it's getting into daycares or doing mass intros or getting into the school system or doing booths or whatever, there's a plethora of things depending right now because of the pandemic, depending on where you're at, that you can do. But places are opening up. There are people that are having table and booth events. Some people are getting to school. Some people are locked down tighter. So they've got to kind of shift and navigate. But at the end of the day, you do whatever you can do to really encourage bodies on your floor. Get out to your students. Let them know, you know, do buddy days. Give them passes for people. Let them know what your summer special is. If they've got a sibling or a family member or a friend or coworker, say, guys, listen, here's what we're doing. We're doing something crazy. We've never done this before. And we want to give these postcards to you guys if you know anyone that would benefit from our program. And I would say, a coworker, another family member, look, I know a lot of parents, you guys were talking, I'm social proofing, a lot of parents, you were talking about getting started and we're just waiting for the right time. Well, this is the right time. This is one of our biggest specials of the year where you can come in, try out our program for ... And by the way, we're putting this out in the community and we do have limited spaces. So when it's full, but I want to give you guys first opportunity to be able to do that. So just be very aggressive in your offers and be very aggressive in going out and stop waiting for people to come to you. You go out to them and then you make sure that you make it happen. And Facebook is only one way.
Right. So, you know, what's interesting, Tass, and I want everybody here because, you know, I look and see, I think the title of the show is We're Announcing the Winner. And, you know, there's not a big audience today because they probably just think we're just announcing the winner. I think that's what the title is. But it's funny because you're given this information and there's going to be a percentage of people on here that say, okay, I mean, yeah, I run a summer special. I already know that, right? They're also going to say, give a postcard out. Referrals don't work. Referral systems don't work. Oh, title of the show is, I guess it's good that we know the title of the show, right, Tass? Title
yeah, right.
Of the show is,
it's the ... show, guys.
Oh, Real Talk, Unfiltered.
Yeah.
This industry sucks. We're all morons. We don't know business. I didn't know the title was Real Talk. Let's shift gears. No, here's the thing though. We do know this industry and our industry will listen to this and say, like I said, I do run summer. Yeah, I'm already doing that. And by the way, I still struggle in the summer. Or they justify and say we're doing good enough. But the difference is as a school owner or as someone that works in a school, somebody that is in the martial arts industry, have you ever competed in a tournament, right? Have you ever competed? And how often do you go to a tournament wanting third place, right? I don't think anybody goes to compete for anything but striving to try to win, right? And I say this all the time. We did this on the CMA program director meeting yesterday. I talked a lot about philosophy and concept. And it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You don't go to a tournament and lose to somebody that's doing like all these different techniques that you've never seen before. They're just presenting the techniques a little bit better than you that day, right? That's how they win. So when you're in the martial arts business, it's not about running a summer special.
It's an interesting analogy. It's how you present the summer special. Like that's good, man. I like it.
Thanks, Tass. You know I'm here for you always.
I like it. But
my point is this is what a school owner has to understand, or a school employee, someone in the industry. I keep saying owner, but it doesn't matter, because even if you're a team member or an employee of a school, don't you want to be the best at what you're doing? And if it doesn't work, why is it that we can give specific examples of all these other schools where it works unbelievable? You know, that's the question you have to ask. Well, I've done summer specials. I still struggle in the summer. Well, how come they don't? And they're running a summer special.
How come they get 160 summer specials?
And by the way, you're not exaggerating. You're specifically hitting a specific real life example. Why does one school get 160? And then what we'll do is we'll justify without knowing any other information. And the first thing that'll come to some of the minds is, oh, because they're in a much more populated city. You know, they're in a much higher income area. No, that's not true. We'll give you the demographics on these schools that are doing this. So why? Why are they doing well with it? Now, that's number one. Number two, understand that trials don't mean anything. And I was talking about this on the program director meeting. Trials is just a method to ultimately get an enrollment. So you got to make sure you keep your eye on what is the most important goal, to get the new student, not to get a trial. So then you got to ask yourself, well, is there an easier, more efficient way to get a new student without having to jump through the hoops of signing them on a trial, then meeting them with again, and getting them converted to become a student? Maybe. The answer is maybe, and it depends on you and the school and the layout and the team that's involved, or the lack of team that's involved. Maybe. But ultimately, you got to understand, we put out offers to do one thing and one thing only, not to sell our school, to get people in the door, to then get them enrolled, right? And that's where Tassoul said, we want an offer out there with a very low barrier of entry, because it's easier to get people in your school. But if somebody comes into your school with a 1 month offer trial, or if let's say you're running a summer special or a 1 month or a 4 week trial, and somebody randomly walks in or calls and says, yeah, I'm inquiring about your classes. I'd like to get more information on your classes. Do you automatically say, well, right now we have a 4 week trial? They just called you and they're interested. Or do you just set up the appointment for them to come in, see the facility, do an intro lesson or evaluation or a class or whatever it is, and get them enrolled? Well, a lot of you will volunteer the trial. You'll just volunteer it because you're just programmed to volunteer it. And I
believe there's a reason
to become a student. Go ahead, Tass.
And I believe there's a reason for that. And I believe the reason is because they don't understand the 4-step enrollment process. They don't have confidence in building rapport in a single 20-minute lesson to be able to ask somebody for whatever you're charging for tuition. And because of that, your system is, we're going to put, and by the way, it's okay if you do that, right? I don't want to shame anybody, but you got to remember what, like Metzger is saying, what the ultimate goal is. But if you're in a school where, you know, you're having people, everybody funnels in through a trial, right? when your marketing starts to work for you, you're doing double the work because you're signing them up as a trial, and then you have to come back and you have to enroll them. That means you're talking to everybody twice, as opposed to, and please understand the concept, and it's not that we enroll them and never talk to them again, right? But understand the concept of you're talking to them at the point of paying for their trial, and then you have to talk to them to get them enrolled. And some of us don't have the systems in place to understand how to get that person enrolled, and then you do all this work to get these trials, and then the trials are out the back door because you don't have the right follow-up system, you don't have the right trial, the way it's structured, you don't understand the progress check and the right questions to ask, how to give them incentive to join today as opposed to wait until after their trial is up. And so there's all these systems within systems, and then we're like, I used to see this all the time, right? And Metzger used to see it as well. There was a 6-week for $69 trial that was like hit the industry by storm years ago. And I would see people posting, and it was interesting, the screenshots. Here's the real talk. This is the BS bullshit that I saw. The screenshots were this. Here's my trials, 84 trials. The next month, 76 trials. The next month, 63 trials. Guess what you never saw? The number of students or enrollments. And it was all puffery. And I'm like, this dude's got to have 600 for 6 months. I watched this happen. He's got to have 600 students. I found out he's got like 150 students. So trials don't mean anything. And by the way, if you have a retention problem or a conversion problem, all you're doing is siphoning through your market, and you're putting people in a revolving door, and you can't maximize your business. So we can't get caught up on this idea, but yet people were bragging about it. And remember, and this is remember who is the one that is giving you the information, right? Well, we talk about billing companies, like they're the ones that want you to wrap testing fees into your billing. Why? Because that billing company makes money on that if you do that. Well, who's the one that's doing these offers? It's the website company, right? So the website company wants you to do what? They want you to get leads so you feel like you're successful. But at the end of the day, your job is to get these people enrolled in your school. So, I think a lot of people will do some sort of a trial. And again, there's a time and a place for it, I believe. I believe if you've got a very young team and you need time to build rapport, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you have the systems in place. But don't get so excited about trials. Get excited when you convert 80% of those trials into students. That's what you should be excited about, right? But you got to have systems for it. You got to know what to do. And most of them are salespeople. And the reason why trials work is because your floor is what does the selling over the course of that trial. We're like, yes, please sign me up. But if you can compress that intensity and show them what you're capable of doing in one 20-minute private lesson, you can enroll people on the spot.
And by the way, that's step 2 is converting. And then step 3 is how well are you retaining? Like you said, I mean, if you're just enrolling and you're enrolling people as they're going out the back door, that's also a broken system, right? So there's a lot to manage here. And at the end of there's not a lot to manage. It's recruit, retain, and generate revenue. I say it all the time, but that's it. You got to recruit new students, retain them, and you got to make sure you're generating revenue. Where that's another big point in this industry is revenue is based on more students. That's how this industry operates as a whole. Is I'll grow my school. I just need more students, and that's a misnomer. So here's what I want to say to everybody. Look, if you'd like, by the way, anybody that's giving you advice, anybody, not us, anybody that's giving you advice on how to operate and run your school, and I've said this over and over and over, there's a lot of good consultants out there. There's a lot of good companies out there, right? But at the end of the day, I believe whoever's giving you advice should be operating a martial arts school right now, currently, so they understand the struggles that you're going through. Because if somebody ran a school in the past, they have no idea how to run a school going through COVID. None of us did, right? So number one, I think they should be running the school currently, and there's a lot of people that do. Number two, I think you should be able to go visit that school and see their operations. How are they generating this success? How are they doing it? Is it because they have this massive after-school program where they're charging $90 a week per kid and they're in a very densely high-income area? Well, that's not duplicatable for me, who has a school in Kansas necessarily. I don't think I can do that, right? Or maybe it's not, but you want to be able to go visit the school and just see, is it duplicatable for you? And and the last thing that I would say is I would encourage, I'm inviting you all, to come to Orlando, to our headquarters, August 6th and 7th, that Friday, Saturday. We're doing a next level summit. We're not at a hotel. We're not at some ballroom. You're going to be in one of our schools. You're going to be in our World Training Center. We're going to do a 2-day seminar. It's Friday, Saturday. Saturday morning, you're going to be able to watch a live mass enrollment so you can learn it. We're going to teach it. That's just that hour, by the way. It's a 2-day event, but you're going to be able to go back and duplicate it because you're going to see it live. You're going to see our school operate live. And I just feel that's really important. And by the way, we don't always do a seminar in one of our schools because the groups are too big. So with that, by the way, something stalled until one goes vegan, by the way. Just want to let you know, Tess, on the comments.
What?
I don't know. Read the comments. Anyway, my point is sometimes when you hear it, you can't envision it. You can't really picture it till you actually see it live. So August 6th and 7th. And by the way, if you're a My Elite member, this is not for you because you guys have seen this stuff. You've been here. You can come anytime. This is for non-elite members to come, and we're only taking 20 schools. That's it. And each school can bring no more than 2 people. And I think the cost of the seminar is $199. That includes the dinner. But I really would love for you to come out and see the school, the operation, so you can see for yourself that we do practice what we preach. And we did pick a winner. I didn't pick a winner. The team here gave it to me, randomly picked a name from the list, however they came up with it. They gave it to me right before we went on, where we're going to cover your airfare and cover your hotel. And I'll just tell you right now that winner is Mr. Paul Manilli. And I know that Mr. Paul Manilli, I think he's on, but he's been on, and I think we've chatted before or whatever, but congratulations. So Mr. Manilli, August 6th and 7th. And if you cannot make it, they will pick another winner, by the way. They will pick somebody else at random from all the.
And if you don't claim in the next 10 seconds, they will also pick another winner. So just so you know.
There you go. 8.
I'm kidding.
So listen, at the end of the day, as a school owner or someone that works in the industry, you got to understand what the ultimate goal is, number one. Number two, you got to understand that if you're doing something and you think you're doing the same thing, well, I'm doing that too. And I know that. I know how to do that. I know how to do a summer special. I know how to run a mass upgrade. I know how to do a mass intro. It doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. You got to understand, yes, it does work for you. You got to just eat a piece of humble pie here and say, I must be doing something wrong, and that's why it's not working for me. What am I missing? That's what you got to ask yourself. What am I missing? How can I make it better? Because they're doing it. Why can't I? Go ahead, Pat.
I told you this. When I came on as a client to Elite, which, by the way, I think it's 11 years ago, man. Do you believe that?
No.
Where does the time go?
Seems like 30.
I know. It's been a long time. You had hair. You had hair when you were working with me.
Mm-hmm. And then I started working with you.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. But I remember telling you this, right? And this is you got to listen to the whole thing when I say this, right? 90% of the stuff that you had asked me to do, I was already doing or had done. As a matter of fact, I mean, they say 95.6% of stats are made up on the spot. So I'm making the stat up on the spot, right? But the majority of what I was doing, what I was consulted to do, were things that I was already doing, right? Well, then I should have never got consulting. Yet consulting changed that decision that I made that day, which took 2.5 hours. That decision changed my life forever and the trajectory of my life forever. And well, how is that possible? If I was already doing everything or 90-some% of the things that he was asking me to do, then how did it change? Because it was the how I was doing it, not the what I was doing. And it's in the details that made all the difference in the world. And that you might look at that and say, well, if you only did 10% more of what he was asking, then how did you grow? Because 10% in 30 or 40 different areas is exponential growth. And, just as a quick reminder, I mean, some of you heard the story, but we literally had $100,000 to $120,000 a year jumps from $240,000 to $360,000 to $440,000 to $552,000 to $660,000 to $720,000. I mean, how does that happen when you're doing 90% of the stuff? Well, because I was doing it my way, and I wasn't doing it necessarily the right way or a better way, right? And the goal is what can we do to maximize your success? And he said this before, it's not his way, it's not my way, it's not anyone's way. It's what we've learned because we happen to have real talk with the clients who do want the help, and it's not at a tournament where someone has given you a puffery and saying, well, I got 240 students. I'll never forget, I asked a guy one time, I said, hey, how's the school going? And he said, oh, good, man, it's doing great. I said, well, great. Well, how many students do you have? He's like, well, and he put his chest out. He's like, we're at like 300 now. I said, oh, really? I said, well, what'd you gross last month? And he said the number, and he's like, and he knew enough to know that he's like, oh shit, I just got myself in trouble because my numbers don't match, because you can't have the gross and the students. And in my head, I'm figuring out student value. And he's like, well, and then he was trying to justify things, because if I ask you enough questions, I just can ask you the right questions, and I'm going to know whether you're full of shit or not, right, with your numbers. So we don't deal with that because we're not talking to people at a tournament that are trying to impress us. We're talking to clients that are trying to grow their business. And as a result of that, there's this honesty and transparency that happens. And when we're honest and transparent, we can find out the holes, we can find out the weaknesses, we can find out the strengths and know where they're strong, learn from all of those things, plug the holes, take the great things that they're doing, systematize those, and share those with everybody else. And that's the benefit of literally dealing with hundreds of people that are being transparent, and we're just a conduit with those people. So I think it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's just been so exciting, and I think everybody in the industry has heard everything, right? I mean, there's so many things, and there may be a tweak here and there or something like, oh, well, I never thought of doing this. Most everything's been done, but it's how you're doing those things. I think one of the most dangerous parts is taking bits and pieces of information because you don't want to invest in somebody helping you. Maybe it's a pride thing. Maybe it's you don't have the money thing. Maybe you think you can do it on your own. You can, but you're not. It's very difficult if someone's already done it. Do you want to take 10 years to get there, or do you want to take 10 weeks to get there? Literally. I mean, that's a literal statement, right? And you could absolutely do that. So
the other danger here in the industry, everybody, so listen up, because we really want to help these school owners in the industry here, but the other danger is when you're doing good enough, right? When you're doing good enough, you will be more resistant to change because you're doing good enough. You're paying your bills, you're making some extra money, and we're good, but we don't want to be good enough. We want to be the best. I mean, I think that you'd want to be the best. Maybe some of you are okay with good enough, but that's not, then you wouldn't be for us, right? You wouldn't want to get consulting from us, because even if you're doing $100,000 a month, when we dive into your numbers, if you're doing $100,000 a month, but you could be doing $160,000 a month, we're not doing good. We could be doing better with just some tweaks. But when you're doing that, it's harder to change because you have more fear, and you think you got the answers because you're doing better than your competition, and that's the danger. That's where you just sit there and you're okay, right? And by the way, that's a personality trait. I think I'm not saying it's wrong to just be okay. It's a personality trait that I'm a little more fearful of taking chances or diving into the unknown. But I just got off of a Zoom call with the school and the entire team, and I told them that, don't just listen. Don't just do what we suggest you do. By the way, we don't tell you have to do this. That we can't do that, right? We suggest, and we tell you why, And you have to understand why. Some people are so eager, they're so hungry, they want to just go to that next level. They're like, I'll do anything you say. I'll do anything you say. I don't want you to do anything we say. I want you to make sure you understand the reasons why we're saying it and why you need to do it this way. And that's what's going to take your school to the next level. But it's not all about you, right? We're also in an industry, ironically, full of egos, right? And it's not all about us. It's about your black belts, okay? It's about your future instructors in your team. Are you only able to provide a job for them, or can you really provide a career for them? And what's the difference? A career is something where they have opportunity for growth. I believe a career is something where you can offer a retirement package, vacation package, health benefits, all of this stuff. So that is the difference. And that is what we are trying to do for our industry, because we're only going to become bigger and better as an industry.
Metz says, don't listen. He says, don't, just say, okay, well, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Well, let me tell you something. There's a reason why he says that. But I was the guy. I don't know if he remembers this. But I said, listen, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. And here's why he's saying that. Number one, he wants you to question, understand the reason why. But if you're saying I'll do anything that you tell me to do, there's a reason that you're saying that. And the reason I was saying it is because I had been through other consulting companies. My house was being foreclosed on. I filed bankruptcy. I was at the bottom. And so I said, dude, whatever you tell me to do, I'm just going to do it, because I literally said to him, I'm putting my future in your hands, because I don't know what else to do. And if you're at that point, we can help you, right? But don't wait until you get to that point to take action, because I will tell you that when you're at that point, one of two things is going to happen. Either A, you're going to tap out and you're going to give up because it's going to seem too hard, and it's going to seem too overwhelming, and it's going to seem like it's going to take too long. Or two, you do the Tony Robbins thing, and there's no motivation like there's pain and pleasure, right? And for me, I was tired of the pain, and that's why I implemented so quickly, right? But if you're the danger, it's like in your classes, right? How many of you guys have B students that are in your classes? They never are the ones to excel. They're never the ones to cause problems. They're just even keel, and they never get noticed by you. And that's where some of us sit, is like, we're doing okay in our business, right? But you need to take that jump to the next level. And that's when the best place, the best time to do it is not when you're desperate, right? I mean, it can work, but don't wait until you're desperate, because it can be too late in some cases, because usually at that time you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, and there's no fight left in you. And you need to have a little bit of fight to get through some of this stuff to take you to the next level.
It's interesting, because somebody on the last Zoom call, when I was on a Zoom with this school and the team, one of the team members said, how do you address burnout, when you get burnt out? And I said, well, burnout comes from, number one, not having a future or a direction for all the hard work you're putting in. You got to have a future, okay? You got to have you have to have some control of your future, whether you're the owner, an instructor, a program director. But number one, that'll help you with burnout, knowing that you're working towards a future, not just locked in over and over, number one. Number two, you got to have a great culture, and you have to have good people that you're working with, right? You have to have good people. If you're going to work every day and you're not working as a team, that can feel like burnout, because you feel like you're by yourself or you're on an island. And this is specifically for the one man or one woman show running a school. And it can get trying, right? And then number three, you're the efficiency in systems, right? A lot of us in this industry work a lot harder than we need to accomplish the goals of what we're trying to do, meaning produce high quality martial arts students, high quality, right? Generate good revenue to give people an opportunity to grow and make a good living in your business. And as a school owner, to make sure that you're not working all night to go home to worry about which bill you're going to pay first, because you're struggling. I mean, and so that is the stuff that causes burnout.
Dude,
Okay?
there were days I would walk into my school and I'd flip on the switch and be like, damn, the lights went on. That's good news. Like, I swear to God, this is a true story, man. Like, I remember I was behind in bills and it's just, I mean, it was crazy. And I know there's other people that have had, I mean, I'm guessing I can't be the only guy that was like, well, I didn't pay my electric bill. I wonder when they're going to cut me off. I mean, two or three times, I had the electric cut on me because I didn't pay my bill.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
No, that true story, man. And I'm like, all right. And then I would try and pay it. My uncle worked for the gas and electric company. I'm like, Uncle, I need your help. I need you to get my power back on. He said, well, did you pay your bill? I said, well, no, but I just paid it now, but I need it on now. Like, and it's funny because when we have lack of money, right? And now here's more real talk. When you have lack of money, your problems become everybody else's problem. I can't believe the gas electric company would cut me off. These guys are such jerks. Well, I didn't pay my bill, but it's funny how we project onto everybody else because of the scarcity or the lack that we have. And now everybody else is to blame for that. And that was me for a period of time. And it's embarrassing to say that, but looking back now, I realized that that's what was happening. I was projecting that onto other people, right? And so I think, you know, when we think of these things, I'm just reminiscing back a little bit to try and remember what that was like, and it wasn't fun, and it wasn't easy, and it was difficult, and I would make it work. I mean, we have ninja train that day in the dark, right? And I don't know what's going on. And you think back now, every parent freaking knew that we didn't pay our friggin' bill. No other power was out in the friggin' block, so they knew that we didn't pay our bill, and it was frustrating. And then I remember when I had my first $30,000 month, right? And I was on the floor, I was teaching, and I was walking the lines up and down, and I looked, this is going to sound vain, and I don't mean it this way, but I looked in the mirror, and I saw myself in the mirror, I was in my uniform, barefoot, walking the lines, and I'm like, damn, I get to do what I love to do. I'm finally getting, like, I'm making money at this. And I get to wear my pajamas to work. Like, I had this moment, and I could feel my entire body.
Is this you were barefoot walking the lines in your pajamas? Was this when you were out on the street, or was this when you were on the mat? I just want to make sure we're clear.
That's right. Well, I went in my pajamas everywhere. No, this was in my school. It was in my school. But I remember feeling a transformation in my entire body, and my identity changed that day. Like, and it's just, it may sound weird to some of you, but when you struggle and struggle and struggle, and finally you have a breakthrough, and you say, well, I just teach because of the love of teaching. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're going to love it a lot more when you have the revenue to go with it. It does, and that may sound shallow of me, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was a big identity shift for me, and I felt my confidence in classes more. I felt like I had to deliver at a higher level because of what I was making and what I was bringing in for revenue, and it just changed me, man. I know exactly where I was, which one of my 6 locations, not because I had 6 locations, but because I kept moving to get to escape the bills, right? But one of my 6 locations, I remember the exact location. I remember exactly where I was, and when I had that feeling, and it was an incredible feeling. And so many of you on here or watching or gonna watch, and people in the industry, you all can have it. It's not a matter of whether you can or you can't. It's making decisions, it's pulling triggers, and then having the ability to be able to put your agenda, your pride over to the side and say, I'm ready to learn, and empty your cup and learn. And we all have that ability to be able to do that. It's a choice on whether or not we want to do it or not.
You know, and I'll say this because, look, unfortunately or fortunately, everything has a cost, right? So, you know, if everything was free, people wouldn't tune out, like, you know, and think that I'm just trying to sell them on something, right? But at the end of the day, everyone watching this, you should have Maya Edge. And if you were already on Maya Edge and you said, yeah, I didn't log in, well, that's because you didn't log in. It doesn't mean Maya Edge doesn't give you good information and make your life easier, number one. Number two, if you did log in and it's not generating revenue for your school, it's because you didn't know where to look and what you're looking for. And that's why we have a team here where you could just pick up the phone and call. It's all part of the My Edge thing. And by the way, I'm not on here telling you to get into My Elite. I'm not trying to tell you to become a CMA affiliate. I'm telling you, My Edge is the very bottom basic resource center for you guys to get information to take your school up a few notches here, and then decide if you want to do something with it. And by the way, Mr. Birch, Shane, you talk about how I spent 2.5 hours after you've tried every consulting company out there, 2.5 hours trying to tell you, I know I can help you. Bill Birch is another one. He's another one. He was in Vegas, and he was like him and ha, and I'm like, sir, look, I'm just tired. I mean, I know we can help you. There you go. He was grossing $5,000 a month before Maya, and this month they're going to do over 40.
And by the way, that was when you got him at in Vegas at the booth. But before Vegas, I'm going to tell a Bill Birch story right now. I worked with him. I want to say, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I worked with him for somewhere between 3 and 6 months prior to ever going to the show, right? And then he was having results, and he said, Mr. Tassoul, hey, listen, he goes, when I get to Vegas, he'll remember this. When I get to Vegas, he's like, I'm going to buy you a steak dinner. I said, no, you're not, sir. You're going to sign up for Elite. I don't need a steak dinner. You're going to sign up for Elite. And then he came in and went through the deal, signed up for Elite. He joined. His wife didn't know, and here's where they are.
He posted it.
Yeah, right. 6 months. 6 months that I worked with him before ever becoming a client. Just he would call and ask questions. He'd go execute, come back, call, ask questions, execute, and we love working with people that execute.
Instead of thinking about, should I trust these guys? I don't really dig these guys, or these guys are pompous, or these guys have a weird sense of humor, or whatever. I gotta think no matter where you're at with your school, seeing all this stuff and the testimonials and stuff, I got to think you really know we could help you, right? We could help you a little bit. Why wouldn't you try? Why wouldn't you just see for yourself, right? Just try so we can help you as well. And it's just crazy to think, why do these guys care so much about helping me? I don't know. We just do, right? I mean, why do we care so much?
I know the answer to that. So I've been on the grocery kick lately. My parents had 5 grocery stores back in the day, and I worked in every department, produce department. I stocked shelves, did the whole deal. And that job was an immediate gratification job. And so what would happen is you'd go out and you'd face the aisle and you'd pull all the stuff forward, make it look pretty. And I remember the little old ladies walking down the aisle, and they were going to pull a can of peas off the shelf. I'm like, no, it looks perfect. Just leave it, right? But that was the job, and it was immediate gratification. Well, when we work with our martial arts students, sometimes there's a immediate gratification. Maybe it's a transformation that happens during class. Maybe it happens over the course of 2 or 3 months, and we see their confidence skyrocket. But I remember that feeling when I worked in the grocery industry. And I'll tell you, the interesting part is that working with clients, working with people, right, and helping people, there is the immediate gratification, because if you listen and you execute, what happens is you're going to get results, period, end of story. And those results come quickly to people that execute. It's not like this is going to take 3 years for me to move my gross revenue by $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000 a month. That's not the case. We can do that in a day. I mean, you call us and you get on the phone, we can get you revenue in immediately, right? That's not the thing. And so when that happens and someone says, oh my God, sir, I had somebody call me the other day. He's like, they're at 57,000 this month. When they came on board, they were like doing 15 to 20 grand in their school. And this is only 9 months ago. Now they're at 57,000 a month, and they're just ecstatic and over the moon about that, right? That's why I do it, because that makes me feel good that I've helped somebody else change their life, because it's me paying it forward, because the trajectory of my life has been changed forever because of Mike Metzger and Maya and the systems. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And so that's why I do it, because look, maybe it's a selfish thing, right? But at the end of the day, I love helping people. I love watching people succeed. And a couple of you, when Paul Manilli was mentioned on here as the winner, congratulated him and applauded him. If we did more of that in our industry, And if we encourage the school owner down the road, down the street, we will grow as an industry. There's plenty of students for everybody, but we're like, we don't want to share, and we don't, there's a scarcity mentality, and we've got to get over that. And when we do that as an industry, everybody rises. And how do I know that? Because when you look all across our elite clients, all across our CMA clients, 80% of them are having record years. 80%. I mean, it's incredible. So as a group, we're all moving up together, which is really, really incredible. And that's how I know. And so that's why I do what I do. I just think it's so much fun getting the call and be like, oh my God, sir, we enrolled 5 new students today on the new pricing structure, or we had our first upgrade today. That's exciting. It's exciting as a teacher when somebody takes what you teach them or pass on to them and they execute it and they have results. And it's no different than watching your kid win in a tournament and they executed what you taught them. And you're like, dang, that was awesome. It worked. I'll never forget every grand champion trophy I ever had paled in comparison to when my first student got a grand champion. That meant more to me than any award that I ever won. So that's why I do what I do. I mean,
well, you actually purchased those grand champions.
I knew I set that up, lobbed it up for you.
So I can understand why it meant more when it's actually.
No. I stole them from all the people that competed against you.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, hey, look, today we're on a kick of summer's upon us. We hear all the time. A lot of schools still in the industry have trouble with their summers, and of course, summer camp has changed a lot of schools. You run camps from 7:30 in the morning until 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it is, and you can do that, but don't do that because you have to run summer camp. Do that because you just want to have summer camp. There's ways that you can still have normal hours in the evening, but I'm not saying summer camps are bad. I'm just saying do it because you want to, not because you have to. I personally don't like summer camp. I don't like after school. Maybe it's because we did it for almost 20 years and we haven't done it now in, years and years and years. We got rid of the after school, thing. In the majority of our schools, I let my teams decide. I have one school that still wants to keep. Actually, I think they're finally getting rid of it now. They're not going to do after school anymore. There was one school left, and I think he had just mentioned that he doesn't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, thank you. And by the way, I own the school, so if it made us so much money, why would I want to get rid of it when I don't even see it? Well, because I know we're going to do better. I know we're going to generate more, and it's going to make my team's life easier at that school. And the wear and tear on the school is not going to be as much. I mean, why would I be happy if they're getting rid of it, right? Unless there's a better way, a more efficient way, an easier way to generate even more revenue and have more happiness. I don't know anybody that's so excited coming into their school knowing they got to jump in a van and go pick up kids, or that know that there's going to be a transportation company dropping off 40 kids in a minute and we got to go to work, or we got to manage that. I don't know. Maybe there's some people that are very excited, but that's okay if that's what you want to do, as I said. But don't do it because you have to. And
Miss Collier, very, very, very humble there. I mean, couldn't go from paying her mortgage to now she's financially, they're killing it. They're crushing it.
They're not only financially secure, I think their children and grandchildren are now also financially secure. So you're doing fantastic. And Mr. Manili, congratulations. You were the one that was chosen here from the team that took these papers and let me know. I just moved from an old barn to part-time to a brand new retail strip mall and going full-time. It's nerve-wracking. Thanks again. Well, we look forward to seeing you in August, and we will. The team will be in touch to get your airfare settled and your hotel and your seminars covered. But everybody else, again, that has never been to an elite event or been to a Maya event, spend the $199 or $149 or whatever the cost is. If you're a Maya Edge member, I believe it's $149. I believe if you're a Maya Edge member, come in August. What's the worst that happens? Well, the worst that happens is you lose maybe $200 on a plane ticket, $199, so that's $400 plus a hotel let's just call it 600 hours. You're going to gamble 600 hours. Now, the question is if you come here for 2 days, do you think you'll get something out of it that you weren't doing before that over the next 30 days will generate an extra $600? Or over the next 90 days or a year that will generate an extra $600? Well, come on. I mean, that's easy. So my question is why wouldn't you come to see for yourself?
Because some people are going to be afraid, like, well, I can't close down my school. Well, don't tell that to me. I just closed my school down, 2 schools down for a week. I shut them down for a week last week and took my entire team, paid for everybody to go down, airline tickets, hotels, everything, right? Took my whole team down and immersed them in training for the week. So, and not one complaint, by the way, because we pre-framed it properly. Like, hey, our instructors are going down for continued education and for instructor training. We're so excited to come back and show you what they've learned. And so we're going to be closed Tuesday through Friday. And that's what we did. So y'all can get out of your school. Y'all, I sound like I'm from the South, but y'all can get out of your school for a Friday, Saturday. I mean, it's an easy deal. And you'll come back inspired, refreshed, enthusiastic, and ready to execute. I mean, that's
and again, I want to let everybody know, August 6th and 7th, only 20 schools, and that's it. Why only 20? Because we're not taking you to a hotel ballroom. You're coming into our World Training Center. You're coming into one of our schools. And so there's limited space. I mean, that's just it. There's limited space. Only 20 schools can attend. And that's it. Once we fill up, we fill up. And we'll have another one, I'm sure. But I'd love for you guys, at the end of the day, come to just see for yourself. Get knowledge, right? I mean, and I say this all the time. Then you can talk about us. Then you can talk about how, oh, these guys are just all about the money. These guys don't care about the martial arts quality, or these guys don't know what they're doing, or these guys are unbelievable. I mean, you can form your own opinion, and we will be forced to respect that, right? Because you actually came and saw for yourself. I don't like any of my clients going on message boards saying, I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm making a point. Maya's the best. They're the best ones out there. They're the best. You can't say we're the best ones out there unless you tried everybody else. Shane actually pretty much tried everybody else, right? At the time that he jumped on board. So I also think it's ridiculous when people say, so-and-so's the best. So-and-so's the best. I've done all of these things and these guys are the best. And I always read those comments and I'm like, I don't remember you ever coming to one of our events, so how do you know? Come see for yourself, come see for yourself. And we'd love to meet you. And there it is. Oh, we're at 19 schools now. I think maybe that's because Mr. Manili won, right? Right. So anyway, and there you go. And Mr. Birch says, I tried several and didn't want to hear anymore. Well, when I convinced him and sold him that we can help him, and I kept harping, and finally he felt, I guess, pressured and said, I can't tell my wife. I'm just going to do it. Well, he was doing 5,000. Now he's going to do over 40,000. I think maybe his wife is happy that he made that decision. I like doing this because I like trying to be the best at what I do. And that's the challenge for me. And I remember once, and Che knows this, I don't take on any more clients one-on-one. I don't do that. The last person I took on actually was Chris Rodriguez, right? Who's our social media. I took her on, was the last one. But the one before that, I'm not going to mention who, but they came to me and they said, we're currently with this person. And it was a person that was huge in the industry. And it's just not working. It's not working. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to take you on and work with you because I just want to prove that I can help you when they're not able to. That's why I want to do it. Well, that person's been with me for several years. They're now a CMA affiliate, and they're still here. And we definitely got them to another level compared to where they were. And that was a challenge for me. And I wanted to show them and myself that when this other person in the industry couldn't do it for them or wasn't doing it for them, would I be able to change their trajectory and grow their school? And there's a pride thing there. I wanted to just know that I could do it. So if I convince anybody to come to Orlando, I'm going to make sure that we back up what we say and that we're going to help you out. I mean, because that's just a pride thing for me. So with that, congratulations again, Mr. Manili. And we hope all of you can make it in August. If nothing else, jump on Maya Edge. Jump on Maya Edge. And if you jump on Maya Edge, use it. And if you don't know where to start, call the Maya Edge team and get a walkthrough, get a call, tell them where your challenges are, and they will show you the tools to use from the Maya Edge site to help you out. I mean, we can help you. Anything, any parting words, Tass?
Life is shaped by the decisions we make. There you go. No, I don't. Listen, I mean, we preach all the time, and you guys, at the end of the day, you're responsible for making your decisions, whatever they are. But the quality of our life is based off of two things, right? The questions that we ask ourselves and the decisions that we make. And I think those are two very important things. And so, like what Metzger said before, the questions you ask yourself, well, what am I going to lose by going? And the decisions that we make, well, you can choose to either go or not go, right? And so those are your options. But that's what it is for me. And there's lots of decisions, and we don't know which ones are going to change our lives. So, explore and go from there, whatever that's going to be.
You look at what's the downside and what's the upside. And when the upside is like this and the downside is like this, that's a bet you should take all the time. Okay. So there it is, guys. We appreciate you. We'll see everybody. So next Thursday, we may change the time or the day, because I got Mr. Mike Swain called me, and he's going to be in town next Thursday, and he told me he wants to do lunch. So it may cut into the 1 o'clock Metz Tassoul show here. And Mike Swain's coming all the way from California, and he's one of the best guys in our industry. If you don't use Swain Dolomer mats, you should. They're I believe, the best mats out there, and he's one of the greatest guys out there. So we'll post it. We'll let everyone know, and we appreciate you. So we'll talk to everybody soon.
All right, everybody. Thanks, guys. Congratulations, Mr. Manili. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day.
See you, Tass.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks.